In the book of Zechariah, chapter 4, there's a vision that Zechariah has about Zerubbabel finishing the temple. This is the temple during the time of Ezra. And as part of this vision, Zechariah sees two olive trees. So starting in verse 11, it says, "Then answered I and said unto him, What are these two olive trees upon the right side of the candlestick and upon the left side thereof? And I answered again and said unto him, What be these two olive branches, which through the two golden pipes empty the golden oil out of themselves? And he answered me and said, Knowest thou not what these be? And I said, No, my Lord. And he's talking to an angel here. And then he said, These are the two anointed ones that stand by the Lord of the whole earth. So these two olive trees, on the different sides of the candlesticks, are the two anointed ones. Now, the Apostle John in the book of Revelation expounds on this, in chapter 11 of the book of Revelation or Apocalypse. He's seen a vision, and he said, and in the vision it says, And I will give power unto my two witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. These are the two olive trees and the two candlesticks standing before the God of the earth. So this is the interpretation given by John the Apostle through this vision, that these two olive trees that Zechariah saw are two witnesses. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth and devoureth their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. These have the power to shut the heaven, that it rain not for the days of their prophecy. And they have the power over waters to turn them to blood, and to smite the earth with all plagues as often as they will. And when they have finished their testimony, the beast that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them, and shall overcome them, and kill them. But after 3.5 days, their dead bodies will lie in the street of Jerusalem, where our Lord was crucified. People will rejoice that they've died, and they'll send each other gifts, and they'll be happy. They won't put the bodies in graves. And then after 3.5 days, the spirit of life from God will enter into them. They'll stand on their feet. Everyone who sees them will be scared, and then they will ascend up into heaven, into a cloud. Okay. In the book of Doctrine and Covenants, it also talks about it in section 77, verse 15. The question, what is to be understood by the two witnesses in the 11th chapter of Revelation? Answer, they are two prophets that are to be raised up to the Jewish nation in the last days, at the time of the restoration, and to prophesy to the Jews after they are gathered and have built the city of Jerusalem in the land of their fathers. So, when this prophecy in Doctrine and Covenants was received, the Jews weren't gathered into Jerusalem. Now we have the nation of Israel, and they are gathered. So part of that is fulfilled, but we haven't seen the two prophets yet that I know of. I don't know. I don't think that this revelation is necessarily fulfilled. This prophecy is fulfilled. Another potential reference to these two prophets is in the book of Isaiah, chapter 51, verses 19 and 20. It says, These two things are come unto thee. Who shall be sorry for thee? Desolation and destruction, and the famine and the sword. By whom shall I comfort thee? Thy sons have fainted, they lie at the head of all the streets. As a wild bull in a net, they are full of the fury of the Lord and the rebuke of thy God. So at some point, two prophets will come to Jerusalem. We know that they will speak with power. In the book of Revelation, it says that they're going to have fire come from their mouths and be able to shut up heaven and perform miracles. So evidently, these two prophets will be powerful, and they will influence the world to the point that the wicked will rejoice when they die, and then they will be resurrected. And it's one of the signs of the times that has not yet happened yet.